Well, hello everyone. Hello, beautiful, lovely people. It is I, your favorite oracle, the Oracle of Whimsy, and I'm here to discuss everything that's going on in the world right now. As many of you know, Israel is bombing targets in southern Lebanon, Hezbollah targets. Hezbollah, as many of you know, is a proxy army of Iran. In previous remotes, I had told you that we would probably see the end of Ibrahim Raisi. He was the former president of Iran. And in fact, he died in a helicopter accident a couple of months ago. Now, what I said was that it was probably a coup. It was probably the Iranian guard that had taken him out. Most likely, he and the pilot of the helicopter, I suspected, had been poisoned. Uh, it looked like it was a case of poisoning and not due to any kind of foul play of the helicopter. When they did an analysis afterwards of the crash, in fact, they found that there was nothing wrong with the helicopter and that it was probably just an error due to bad weather conditions, even though the people who were flying in the other plane said that it was basically clear skies. What it looked to me like as a remote viewer was that they had gotten to a particular altitude and that they had been given tea, and that the tea was tainted with some kind of poison like arsenic or cyanide, and that the poison took about 15 minutes to work, and that was ultimately what caused the demise of the pilot. He lost control of the helicopter and it crashed into a mountain. I don't think autopsies were done, maybe for religious reasons, or maybe because they felt it was unnecessary because the cause of death would appear obviously to be due to the crash. But that's what it looked like, that they were able to get poisonous drinks onto the plane. People drank the poisonous tea, and that was ultimately what took them out. After the death of Raisi, who was a strong supporter of Hezbollah, he was a religious extremist, the people were then of Iran were allowed to vote on their future president. And what made it a soft coup was that the Iranian Guard, that faction of the Iranian Guard that wanted to take control of Iran and remove or take away the Ayatollah's power, they were going to make sure that a moderate got in because they knew the will of the people. And in fact, 5 people entered the race, and people voted for Masoud Pezeshkian. I believe that's how you say his name, Pezeshkian. Now it's coming out that Masoud Pezeshkian does not want to have war. He's saying he doesn't want to have a war with Israel. He wants peace with Israel. So if I'm right, and if it was a coup, and if it's true that Masoud Pezeshkian was a plant by the Iranian Guard, CIA, Mossad, then we should expect them to begin cutting ties with Hezbollah and cutting funds. If I'm right, basically Hezbollah would go bankrupt because they wouldn't have any more financing from the Iranian army. So I thought we would take a look at that and see the future of the war. Will Iran continue to support this proxy army, given the fact that only 30% of the people evidently in Iran currently support this government? I think that they are going to have a hard time continuing with support. We can go ahead and do the Empath's prayer and take a look at that and what's going on in the Middle East. And in addition to that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at those poll numbers that came out of New York Siena polling. It is a respected poll. They do phone and they talk on, they call people both on cell phones, and they also call people on landlines. So it is considered a fairly reliable poll. In fact, it's considered one of the best polls. So we can't assume that just because we want Harris, that there aren't people hard at work trying to get Trump elected. A lot of money going into Trump's campaign with the America PAC, which is being funded by Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, and a lot of energy is being put into voter suppression in those swing states. So when you take those two factors together, it's going to make it very difficult for us to be able to see Democrats take hold, considering how much they're working to prevent Democrats from voting in the Sun Belt. It's going to be additionally difficult uphill battle for us to win in the Sun Belt. All right, so those are the things we're going to be looking at today. If you can like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And let's do the impasse prayer, and let's start with looking at Israel and the Middle East, Hezbollah, the future of Iran, and then we will take a look at the Sun Belt and those polls. Thanks for being here. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively we say, Amen. The other thing I would point out is that the head of Hamas was assassinated in Tehran. I had the impression that he was going to be assassinated months ago, and in fact they did plant a bomb in his residence in Tehran, but they had changed their mind at the last minute, which left me confused because I had felt like he was going to be assassinated the last time he was in Tehran. And it came out that the Iranian Guard was responsible for that assassination. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is just, you can go ahead and see the cards because I am here in my beautiful kitchen in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon. You can see all of the herbs that I use in my private practice. So let's take a look. We got the good vibes going. What is going on? And we'll look at it from Israel's perspective. What is the future of the war with Hezbollah? What is the future of the war between Israel and Hezbollah? How will Israel do from Israel's perspective? I feel that Hezbollah will go bankrupt. I feel that because of what is coming out of Iranian leadership, they simply are phasing it out. The truth of the matter is they're afraid that Israel's going to bomb Iran. We have the whole world watching, and we have a Four of Pentacles, which means that Israel is retracting their energy, probably because they're protecting themselves. There's also a frugality here. They don't know who's going to be the next president. Perhaps they don't know whether or not they're going to continue to receive the same support to defend themselves. But you can see they've got the world, which is very auspicious, and it would indicate probably that Israel will win this war. Where they are at right now, they are taking the weapons of war away from their enemies. They are dismantling Hezbollah. Five of Swords is to take the weapons away from your enemies. The crossing card, they have a star, they have good stars, which means they can go forward, and I get the impression that they will not be obstructed by Iran. The truth of the matter is, as I said, many people in leadership in the Iranian Guard, I think it's called the IGIC, is that correct? Are themselves pro-Israel, and they are a faction that's growing within the Iranian Guard that is looking to help with the coup in Iran. And the idea would be that the military in Iran would take control and they would diminish or entirely eliminate the role of the Ayatollah, of the religious leader. And you can see, in fact, a star is over them. What is above them at this time is a new beginning for Israel. You can see that page of wands. I do believe that money is going to be coming in for the rebuild, and I do think that they will be working towards unity and integration rather than a two-state solution, which means that more and more people would be granted residence if they recognize the right of the state of Israel, and even citizenship for some people in the future. But we could be moving away from a two-state solution towards more unity and integration. What they're sitting in is grief. We still don't see the hostages back. There was a possibility that Sinwar, the head of Hamas in Gaza, may have been killed in an airstrike earlier today. We do know that Israel is grieving the loss of the hostages, and many people, hundreds of people were murdered, slaughtered, raped, and the situation is very tense and very traumatic in Israel, still not getting their hostages back. We have seeking justice absolute. The Queen of Wands seeks her territory and headed towards confusion about where this is leading, concerns that the war could go on for a long time. Iran has said they do not want to be involved in this war, and we see death and transformation over the situation. The opposition, justice. They feel justified. Everything we do is justified, right? Because we are the victims. Hopes and fears, walking away, that they will walk away. And then the final outcome is that the new budget in the United States will support Israel, and that they will get what they need in order to complete the elimination of Hezbollah. Remember, it was Trump that pulled U.S. troops out of the Middle East, and that opened the door for Hezbollah. He did not support Israel. Trump did not help Israel, and in fact, by helping Putin, whose birthday is October 7th, by helping Iran get their proxy army in, he was basically opening up the trade route and the chaos that we currently see, because Israel was left a sitting duck, and they lost part of their northern territory. They had to withdraw from their northern territory because of the actions of Trump pulling U.S. troops out of northern Syria. But you can see here the Ace of Pentacles coming in, which means that Israel will get the support they need in order to deal with Hezbollah. And we could see the end of Hezbollah here. The clarification is a healing is coming to Israel. Archangel Raphael with the death card, and the opposition, which I'm assuming is Iran, not only justice, but thinking about their situation, the hermit, soul searching. They could be looking at what happened up to this point that brought them to where they're at. And the hopes and fear is taking the leap of faith, going forward, and the final outcome is a new contract in Israel. We can see a Three Pentacles, and I believe that this is the rebuild in Gaza. As I said, I have great faith that the rebuild in Gaza will be a multinational effort, and that there will be secure safe zones in the future. So ultimately, it looks like the cards are sticking pretty close to what my prediction was. I think Hezbollah will go bankrupt. I think they will no longer be able to receive the funding that they expected from the previous administration. I think that with the election of the new Iranian president, Masoud Pezeshkian, we should see a softening of relations between East and West. Okay, while I'm at it, I thought that I would also take a quick look at Putin. As many people know, Putin's not doing too well. Many of his supply chains are being wiped out. The Ukrainians continue to advance in Russia. They're now firing deep into Russia, and they've exploded many of the arms sheds, causing massive explosions. Many people have died, and it's questionable whether or not Russia's even going to have much military powers in a very short amount of time, given the fact that the ruble has collapsed and given how far Ukraine can now fire into Russia. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the future of Russia based on what's happening with Ukraine. We'll look at it from the Ukrainian perspective. How is Ukraine doing, and will they be able to finally get the Russians to leave Ukraine? Let's take a look. Will NATO get involved? Will NATO get involved? Ukrainian perspective. Let's take a look. We have victory. We have Armistice Day. 3 of Cups is my armistice. People dancing in the streets. It reminds me of 1945. Was it May? When did the war end? Sometime, was it May of 1945? But we can see dancing in the streets, and the judgment, solid judgment, falls with Ukraine. Let's try and get a date on it. You can see them fighting and defending their territory. The 7 of Wands is to fight and defend one's territory. And the crossing card is the Fool. They go for it with a leap of faith. What is above them is the Temperance card. They were patient, but they are determined with that nice Fool card there. Here is Zelensky. He presents as the Emperor. He has strong leadership. He is unflinching, very rational. We're coming out of the time of the Queen of Cups, the Dreamer, and we're seeing an end here, the Knight of Pentacles. This war could end abruptly. It could be one of those things where they see the writing on the wall and then boom, we agree to withdraw. Because a Knight of Pentacles is a stopgap. It's like it ends, or it's a slow and surveying. So we see a stopping of the war. And 9 of Pentacles is a good omen for them. It could indicate that they are financially stable, confident, and they could have the military wherewithal. They are well armed. They are well stocked with the 9 of Pentacles, and their opposition in the grave finished. You can see that with the juxtaposition of the Knight of Pentacles. They're going nowhere. They're in the grave. Indicates to me that we could see an end fairly soon. And the hopes and fears is the devil. So Putin is seen as the devil, codependence, addiction. He was lost in a delusion, an illusion about the situation, and the final outcome, again, same as with Israel, a new contract and an indication of a rebuild. Based on these cards, they will win the war. And the clarification to walk away, the fighting continues in Russia, the hope and the fear, devastation over the devil, and then the final outcome is rapidly they get to armistice. Again, 3 of Cups is armistice, solid judgment, and we have this 3 of Pentacles, which could be the rebuild, and it could indicate a new contract or treaty. I'm going to go ahead and predict that Ukraine wins the war, and I'm going to predict that based on the erratic and aggressive behavior of Russia against NATO countries, they could quickly agree to leave and surrender, because things are not going well for them. And if they don't do it soon, they're going to plow over Moscow with long-range missiles. And I think they can see the writing on the wall, particularly now that Congress has approved the budget, and that includes help for Ukraine. It's not, everything would indicate that there is no end in sight for Russia, that they will continue to be hit hard, that Ukraine is well armed, and it would be very wise for Russia to surrender, withdraw, and sign a peace treaty. All right, we're now going to take a look at Trump. As many people know, the New York Times Siena poll came out today. It is a well-respected poll. It's one of the most respected polls, but it does contradict some of the other polls that showed a much closer race. So we're going to just do some quick blitzes, starting with, we'll check out North Carolina first. And we'll just take a look and see how Kamala Harris does in North Carolina. How is Kamala Harris going to do in North Carolina? Kamala Harris in North Carolina. It is possible that Trump could walk out of North Carolina. He could see you and leave. It's really odd, but I keep seeing this kind of positioning. She take the money and run. Seven of Swords. It's the thief card. A feeling that she stole his votes. You can see here again, this is Trump. Her opposition is walking away. I keep seeing him walking away. Hopes and fears to defend her territory, and then Six of Cups. So she is luring his people over, the Seven of Swords, and he feels like it's stolen because it's as if she doesn't have a right to his customers. It's interesting that, again, we see her opposition would be the 8th house. So her opposition is Trump. And again, he gets the 8 of Cups. Here she is defending her land or the country. And then Six of Cups, they go back to what they love. There's almost a nostalgia to the old America that was prior to Trump. And the clarification over her scholarship, now is the time for her to be smart. A new beginning awaits Trump, and the hopes and fears to be cornered, or, you know, this is a fighting for territory here. The final outcome for her, the star falls on Kamala Harris. And so for that reason, it's very likely that she could take North Carolina. All right, now a lot of people don't have a lot of hope for her in Florida. They feel like it's already in the bag, that she won't be able to take Florida. But other people say that there is enough interest in her from young people, and a lot of people in the village are now beginning to move towards Harris. They were moving towards Biden also, but unfortunately he was not able to win Florida. Let's see how Kamala Harris does in Florida. Unless something changes, I don't see her winning Florida. Unfortunately, you can see the voter card or her card not taking the offer, and then Trump gets the Page of Pentacles. He gets the jobs, hopes and fears. She works very hard, probably on a grassroots level, but a Nine of Swords would be an indication that she probably does not want to be spending a lot of time there. It looks like he's well established there, that the Republican Party is well established there, and so it's going to be a lot harder for her. She does some good grassroots work here, but that Four of Cups is a rejection of an offer, and the fact that he had the scholarship card and the Page of Pentacles leads me to think that he's got roots there, and that he already was well established there, and that the Democrats simply had not set up enough of a campaign early on. Also here, the hopes and fears to get her wish, and Eight of Pentacles. The fact that she's defending herself, and Nine of Swords. I would love to see her take Florida, and this is an ever-changing situation, but for now, it's looking like she will take North Carolina, but she will not take Florida. All right, now we're going to just take a look at Georgia. Will Kamala Harris take Georgia? Kamala Harris take Georgia? I will say that Trump has strong support. He's got a legacy and a history here. Again, it's because of these strong relationships he has. However, she has the emperor, which is also my card for the president. So she could win. But look at his great legacy in Georgia. He's got great support from the Republicans. The hopes and fears, grief. Five of Swords, she takes the weapons away from her enemies. Could be that she is still able to take Georgia despite the fact that Trump has worked hard to secure Georgia. She gets her wish, which leads me to think she will win Georgia. And we can see additional court challenges over Georgia. Even though they were able to delay his prosecution in Georgia, the fact that the court card falls over him means that he is still in trouble in Georgia. He is still facing charges in Georgia. And then the hopes and the fears. This is a rapidly changing situation with an Eight of Wands, which is a rapid card. I'm going to go ahead and say with these cards and with the wish card as the outcome that Kamala Harris, as it stands right now, will be able to take Georgia and North Carolina. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Arizona, and then we should be done. Thanks for joining me. Kamala Harris in Arizona. Now, as you know, the America PAC, funded by Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, has put a lot of money into Arizona. And so it'll be interesting to see how she does in Arizona. How does Kamala Harris do in Arizona? It's iffy. It's back and forth. We'll know in the next couple of weeks, but you can see there's some real confusion. This could be the chaos of X and the America PAC. They're trying to create a lot of confusion. At the same time, I don't see Trump doing a lot. He is doing a lot less than his lobbyist. He is doing a lot less than the people that are funding his campaign. He's not doing as many rallies as he used to do. And then we have a Two of Swords here. So it could be that people are not totally open to her message. And then Two of Pentacles is back and forth. So it could be that she's having trouble resonating with some of the voters in Arizona. Clarification, she has to be patient. She's trying to break through. The Sword of Truth is over her opposition. Hopes and fears, the Empress. And then the final outcome, an inverted Queen of Pentacles. As it stands right now, she could lose Arizona. And it's because of this fear of the powerful woman, the fear of the Empress. The Truth is over Trump, which is interesting. And he's almost out of the race here with a Four of Swords, which I think is interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's 50-50. This Two of Pentacles, the inverted Queen of Pentacles, the fact that there's confusion here, I think a lot of this has to do with the concerted efforts on X to muddy the water and to create false information and disinformation to confuse Arizona voters. And I think that that could, unfortunately, cost her Arizona. All right, thank you everybody for hanging with me in my kitchen. If you need to see me as a reader, you can book me through Booksy, and I can offer you a phone reading. If you need to see me as a naturopathic doctor, that's also through telemedicine, and that information is also through Booksy. All right, be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless, peace out, and we'll see you next time. Bye everyone. Thank you.